What's up, folks? Herman Williams, owner of ATM Financial Services, your personal financial advisor and certified financial education instructor. Today I want to talk to you about retirement. It's something we all dream of at some point in our life, but at the same time it's something that very few of us adequately plan for. Human nature just kind of dictates that the older we get, the more serious we take our retirement planning. The problem with that is by the time we decide to get really serious about our retirement planning, we've likely wasted many years of potential savings and, even more importantly, the potential for our money to grow. So does that mean that if you're in your 40s or 50s, it's too late for you to plan and save for a secure retirement? No, absolutely not. It's never too late to change the trajectory of your financial future. You may not end up where you want to be or where you could have been if you had started planning sooner, but I truly believe that everyone can have a better retirement than the one they're currently destined for. But in order to do that, you have to be willing to start changing your financial behaviors right now. Let me give you my definition of financial behaviors. Our financial behaviors are the actions we take based on how we think and feel about a given situation and the resources we have at our disposal. Now, what does that mean and how does it relate to retirement planning? Well, I believe there's a direct correlation between our financial mindset and our financial success. I've said it many times before, most people don't develop the right mindset and practice the right financial behaviors until they're in their 40s or 50s. But even if you're late to the game, you can still develop a winning strategy when it comes to your finances and planning for retirement. But let's look at some statistics on the amount of retirement savings and contribution rates based on generational groups. In the 20-something group, those aged 20 to 29, the average 401k balance is around $10,500, and the average contribution rate is about 7% of income. Now in the 30-something group, those aged 30 to 39, the average 401k balance is around $38,400, and their average contribution rate is around 8% of income. Moving on to our 40-somethings, those aged 40 to 49, the average 401k balance is around $93,400, and the average contribution rate is still around 8% of income. But when we move to our 50-somethings, those aged 50 to 59, we see the average 401k balance jump to $160,000 and the contribution rate goes to an average of 10% of income. And last but not least, looking at our 60-something group, those aged 60 to 69, we see average 401k balances of around $182,000 and contribution rates that average around 11% of income. Now, what does that tell you? Now, some would argue that the increases in contribution rates and balances as we get older are a reflection of an increase in earning power over time. And I certainly don't disagree with that, but I also believe that it shows that our commitment to do more increases as we understand our finances better and start practicing better financial behaviors. I often run into people in their 40s and 50s who haven't even started a retirement plan. They are starting to think about it more, and some even feel hopeless because they think it might be too late for them to realize their dream of living their best life in retirement. Well, like I said before, it is never too late to change the trajectory of your financial future. You still may not end up where you want to be, but you can improve your future best life by changing some behaviors in your current life. If you're in your 40s or 50s, there are 7 things that you need to do in order to improve your chances of living a comfortable retirement. First, you need to estimate what your retirement expenses will be. Now, in order to do this, you need to decide on an age at which you would like to retire. Now, once you select a retirement age, you need to ask yourself a few questions. Will your home be paid for at retirement age? What other debt obligations will you have? You will likely still need to replace your automobile even in retirement, at least as long as you're able to drive anyway. Another question you need to ask yourself is, what will you do in retirement? Do you plan to travel? And if so, how much will that travel cost you per year? Do you have other hobbies that you will be spending money on? Try to get a real feel for your monthly or yearly post-retirement expenses. Once you have a feel for your retirement expenses, you next need to estimate your retirement income, right? Will you have a pension? If you will have a pension, you should consider yourself lucky. Pensions are quickly becoming a thing of the past. What about your Social Security benefits? If you haven't yet started receiving your annual Social Security benefit estimate in the mail, you can go to the Social Security website and set up your My Social Security account, which will allow you to see different estimated benefits at different ages. And it allows you to review the information that is being used to calculate your benefit. I will leave a link to the website in the description below. But another question you should be asking yourself is, will you have any other income during retirement? Will you work part-time? Or perhaps you plan to start your own business? Please be conservative when you're estimating this other source of income for a number of reasons, not the least of which that this source of income is not guaranteed. Now, step 3 is to determine the difference between your retirement income and your retirement expenses. If your expenses are more than your income, how will you make up that difference? This is where step 4 comes in. Step 4 is to calculate the amount of savings you will need in order to pay all of your expenses and not run out of money. There are many free calculators out there that will estimate how much savings you will need and how long your money will last. Just know that most of these calculators are making the same assumptions for everyone. Most of them assume that you will be earning around 7% annually on your investments. You could be earning more or less on your investments depending on your individual portfolio mix. They also assume that your annual withdrawal rate will not exceed 4% of your portfolio balance. And last but not least, most of these calculators assume that you will live 30 years in retirement. Your specific circumstances could be quite different on one or more of these variables. That's why it's a good idea to get professional help from an experienced advisor such as myself so that you can develop a plan that is specific to you. Step 5 is probably the hardest step of all. It's also the most critical step you will take toward living a better, best life in retirement. You must start saving and investing regardless of your age. Even if you're already in your 40s or 50s, starting now with your saving and investment plan will ensure that you have a better, best life than what awaits you if you don't start. Step 6 is to make adjustments as needed. If you're starting late, it's even more important that you keep track of your progress. Is your portfolio growing at the rate that you expected? If not, you have some decisions to make. You may need to change your investment allocation, or you may need to increase your contribution rate, or you may need to look for ways to lower your post-retirement expenses. Now, chances are you will need to make adjustments to one or more of these variables along the way. That's why step 7 is so important. Step 7 is to have the right mindset. Step 7 should probably be step number 1, but when you think about it, step 7 really has to be a part of all of the other steps. Look, the bottom line is you have to make up your mind that you're going to make wise money decisions in every aspect of your financial life. You have to have the right mindset when it comes to managing your debt. You have to have the right mindset when it comes to managing your contribution rate. It should come natural for you to increase your contribution rate whenever you get a raise in pay. It should come natural for you to pay your credit card balance in full each month. That way you're not giving away money in interest charges that could be going toward funding your best life. Having a money mindset means you don't buy new TVs and cell phones every year just because someone has a Black Friday sale. or because a new product just came out and you think you have to have it. Leave that stuff to the folks who are trying to live their best life now but have no plans for the future. Please remember what I said in the beginning. Our financial behaviors are the actions we take based on how we think and feel about a given situation and the resources we have at our disposal. Start shaping your behaviors now so that you can have a better, best life later. Like I always say, if you change your behaviors, you can change your life. So until next time, behave well.